Quentin Tarantino won't recut Once Upon a Time in Hollywood for China, an exclusive from The Hollywood Reporter. What's up, y'all? Thanks for stopping by the Search T channel. The country's regulators pulled the film from the schedule a week before its October 25th release. Quentin Tarantino has no intention of recutting his Once Upon a Time in Hollywood to appease China's censors. A source close to the situation tells The Hollywood Reporter that the auteur is taking a take-it-or-leave-it stance in the wake of China's regulators pulling the film from the schedule a week before its October 25th release in the country. THR reported Friday that the release of the acclaimed pic starring Leonardo DiCaprio and Brad Pitt had been put on hold indefinitely. No explanation was given to Sony Pictures Entertainment, the studio behind the film, as to why. Sony declined to comment. The decision to halt the release is speculated to be over Tarantino's portrayal of the late martial arts hero Bruce Lee, who was of Chinese descent. As THR previously reported, sources close to Beijing-based Bona Film Group, which is one of the investors in the film, and China's Film Bureau say Lee's daughter, Shannon Lee, made a direct appeal to China's National Film Administration asking it to demand changes to her father's portrayal in the pic. Friends and family of the Hollywood action star have criticized Tarantino for his depiction of Lee, saying it doesn't resemble the real-life man and is instead a caricature. But Tarantino, who is known to be opposed to any kind of tinkering with his films and has final cut rights included in his contract, has no plans to bring the movie back to the editing bay, especially given that China has offered no explanation for what is objectionable in the film, which revolves around the events leading up to the infamous Manson family murders of 1969. One source suggested that China may finally be balking at Once Upon a Time's violence, which is graphic at times but far less than a typical Tarantino film. Even though regulators initially approved it for release there, Bona was poised to handle distribution duties for China and for the China launch. Once Upon a Time would have marked Tarantino's first proper release in China and tapped into the country's enormous box office potential. The film has earned $366 million to date and likely would have topped the $400 million mark after bowing in the Middle Kingdom. DiCaprio remains a huge star in China thanks to 1997's Titanic, which became a gigantic hit in the country earlier in his career. In recent months, China has sought to exert greater control over American entertainment sector. Particularly when it comes to industry's reaction to the situation in Hong Kong, where pro-democracy protesters have faced a violent response from mainland-backed police forces. Perhaps feeling the economic heat, everyone from Mulan actress Crystal Liu to Los Angeles Lakers star LeBron James have either sided with the Chinese regime or denounced any criticism of its authoritarian tactics. South Park creators Mark Stone and Trey Parker continue to be a thorn in the side of Chinese regime as well, thanks to the series of episodes mocking the country's rulers as well as the celebrities who appear to be ignoring its human rights abuse and towing the party line. Many Hollywood studio films have undergone edits in order to get into China, including last year's Oscar-winning Queen music biopic, Bohemian Rhapsody, which removed any mention of protagonist Freddie Mercury's sexual orientation. China frowns upon films with gay leads. That's an article from The Hollywood Reporter, and it's by Tatiana Siegel and Patrick Berzeski, excuse me if I mispronounced your name. My thing with this is the fact that Tarantino has every right to not censor the film. I don't know what they think they're going to get by asking him to re-edit that. I'm sure that how he filmed the scene with Bruce Lee in it, I'm sure it's the same all around. I don't know if they're going to change it. Do they want these guys to reshoot it? China should just and they did what they did. They pulled it out. They pulled out from the film from its release. Just don't show it. Because as much as I am a big Bruce Lee fan, and I hate when people, and it's not, and I have not seen the film, so I'm not one of these people that say, oh, I read the news, oh, I'm not watching it, oh my God, it's a piece of crap because they did this to Bruce Lee. My problem is that I hate when people depict Bruce Lee like how it is, how it, it's depicted in not only in Tarantino's film, but also in, Birth of a Dragon and all that, where they're showing him as a heel, villain-like, cocky, arrogant, asshole. You know what I mean? It's like, because you can say all you want about Bruce Lee. Bruce Lee was not like that. Bruce Lee was very, very like confident in himself, and it may have come off as arrogant. And let's say he was, but it's because he knew he can back up what he was saying. There's a certain, thing about that where someone can do that. Someone can do that, and they're not trying to be arrogant. They're just confident in their own ability. And with the people nowadays, especially the young ones growing up now who just discovered Bruce Lee, and they just think that he's nothing but an actor who learned martial arts for the films. And that's what happens with a lot of these actors, especially in the Marvel films. There's a handful of them that do no martial arts in real life. Some of them just learn for the film, and it's like they think that every actor they see on screen is someone who just learned for the film, and they're not real martial artists. Bruce Lee was legit. I don't care what anybody says. If you watch enough film, if you hear enough interviews, people wouldn't be saying that just to puff Bruce Lee up. He was legit. He was an ass kisser. Ass kicker. Excuse me. He was an ass kicker. So enough about that. But Tarantino doesn't have to, edit his films and have people censor his films and put up with it. He doesn't have to people are gonna say he's one of the guys that I wish that everybody would do that. Like telling them what to do with their films and how to do their films. Tarantino's a guy that will stand behind his work. He never, does, like it says in the article, he's not gonna take it to the editing bay. He's not one to listen to people telling him, to edit your films and to do this to the film. That's his vision, and you gotta respect him as a director. That's his vision, and that's how he's gonna stick to it. We may not agree, those of us who are Bruce Lee fans, those of us who are tired of Bruce Lee being depicted in that way, but the thing about it though is that China has a lot of issues and problems themselves, so they may need to look in the mirror, before they start telling people how to, because you may be able to control people in your country, you may control how Hollywood wants to get into your film market, and they kowtow to you and they edit their films for you. But it's like, you got like guys like the strong-willed and I guess you can call them pig-headed like Tarantino. They're not gonna give in to that. They're gonna definitely do their films the way they want to do their films. If you don't like the film, don't show it. Simple as that. But that's my video for this article, courtesy of The Hollywood Reporter. And Quentin Tarantino, he's not going to recut Once Upon a Time in Hollywood for China, and he shouldn't. If that's his choice, that's his decision, he shouldn't have to. Well, that's my video, and for those of you who stopped by and checked it out, thank you very much, I appreciate it. And in closing, and as always, take care.